In Creo Parametric, you can use Creo Simulate to perform a modal analysis. In this video, we will take a look at an overview of the entire process. Here I am in a part model. It is a rotor for a vertical takeoff and landing UAV. It has basically two blades on either side of a central hub, and I already have a material assigned. Let's get into Creo Simulate by going to the Applications tab. Here is the icon for entering Simulate. And now I am in the environment. I am in structural mode, which is what I want. For a modal analysis, I'm going to start off with this restrained in the middle. I will click on the displacement icon and then select a surface from the central hub. And we have it restrained in translations X, Y, and Z. It is free in rotations, but that's because this is going to be made with solid elements, and so restraining rotation doesn't make any sense, so I don't have to bother with that. Anyhow, this is good. Let me click the OK button. I will leave the default names for the set and the constraint. Let me deselect everything. And let's see, I need to do a material assignment. I will click on the material assignment icon. This opens up the material assignment dialog box. I will leave the default name. Right now it has my part material listed. If I want to use a different material, I can click the More button. And this opens up the material library, and I can navigate to one of the other folders. I'm going to cancel out of here. Let me click Yes, I do want to cancel, and then click OK. Out of the material assignment dialog box. And that's all I need to do in order to set up a modal analysis. If you want to, you could go to the Refine Model tab and take a look at the mesh, but that's unnecessary in Creo Simulate. It will mesh it for you. And so let's go to the Analyses and Studies dialog box. I will click on the File drop-down menu. I want to perform a modal analysis. Let me rename this. I'm going to call this my rotor modal analysis. And then we have our constraint set. Here we have a constraint. That's what I want. I'm going to do this with rigid mode search. I always like rigid mode search. And then for the modes, rather than calculating a number of modes, since this has two blades on each side, I'm concerned that both sides are going to be flapping at different frequencies. So I'm just going to do all the modes up to 300 Hertz. That's a good, safe number. And then let's go to the Output tab. It's going to output stresses, rotations, and reactions. That's good. We have a plotting grid of 4. That's fine. That's the default. And then I will go to the Convergence tab. Instead of single pass adaptive, I'm pretty certain that this will run without any problems. So I will go right to multi-pass adaptive. I'm going to crank the maximum polynomial order up to 9. Let's go with a little bit of a tighter convergence percentage, 5%. And I will converge on, let's make it interesting. Let's do frequency, local displacement, and local strain energy. I'll go for the middle choice. And I'm not going to exclude any elements. So everything is set up in here. I will click the OK button. Before I run the analysis, I will take a look at my run settings. And so here are my output directories. That's fine. I'm not going to override the defaults regarding elements. The only thing I want to check on is the memory allocation. I have a config.pro option that bumps up the memory allocation from the default 128, which is really, really low. Anyhow, that's good. I will click the OK button. And now I am ready to run this analysis. I will click on the green flag. And I'm asked if I want to run interactive diagnostics. I always like to do that. And now the analysis has started. While it's running, I'm going to display the study status. And right now it's generating a bunch of different elements and it's going through pass 1. This should take a few minutes, so I am going to pause here and then come back when the analysis has finished. And we're back. The run has completed. It took about 10 minutes because I chose a lot of things to converge on. Here I can see the results of the frequency, and we have nice convergence on all 14 modes that it found below 300 hertz. And I can see that, yep, we have a bunch of pairs of frequencies here, like I suspected, since we have mass flapping on each of the sides, and the geometry is slightly different on each side. But anyhow, let's close the results dialog box. Then right from the Analyses and Design Studies dialog box, we can click on the icon to review the results. And here it takes me right into the result window definition. It has one mode, or the first mode selected automatically, and that one is around 4 hertz, a bit low. I'm kind of concerned about that. I might want to do some redesign work, and we will take a look at a fringe plot of the displacement magnitude. And for display location, I'll take a look at the entire model. For the display options, I like continuous tone, and of course we want to deform it in order to see the mode shape. I'm fine with a scaling of 10% of the model because displacements, actual displacements for a modal analysis, well, they don't really mean anything. And now I will go to animate it, and let's see, 8 frames, maybe let's crank it up. Let's do 16 frames for the animation. I will click the OK and Show button. And so, yep, we can see it's flapping right on one side there. Let me rotate the model and zoom in a little bit. So we're getting the first mode, which is that right side, and I can go to the View tab, and I like to make this go a little bit slower so I can see it. And so, yeah, we're seeing it flap in there. And so I want to take a look at some of the other different modes. Let me go to the Home tab, and I will click on the Edit icon. Let's change to the second mode and turn off the first mode, and then OK and Show. And yep, there we have it flapping over on the left side with a slightly different frequency. Once again, I can hit the Edit button. I can actually take a look at both mode 1 and mode 2 at the same time, since we're basically talking about 4.23 hertz and 4.27 hertz. OK and Show. And yep, there we can see that both sides are indeed moving. And let's take a look at a few of the other modes. We won't go through all 14 modes. Let's take a look at what mode 3 looks like. OK and Show. And so, we see both sides engaged in this side, and it's sort of doing like a seagull here. Let's take a look at another, and I'll skip past mode 4. Let's jump right to I'm skipping past 4 and 5. Let's go to 6. OK and Show. And again, a bit of a seagull action here. I'm kind of expecting a twisting mode at some point. Let me jump to mode 9. Oh, let me make sure I'm turning off the other modes as I'm taking a look here. Yeah, mode 9, OK and Show. Yeah, we have more ripples of sine waves going on here. And again, I'll just take a look. One more mode in here. Again, I'm looking for, like, there should be some kind of twisting mode somewhere. Maybe I skipped over it with mode 5. OK and Show. There we go. We're getting some kind of like side-to-side motion. But anyhow, you can take a look at the modes. You can clean up the display if you want. So for example, I can go to the View tab, and let's go to the appearance drop down. Yeah, appearance, visibilities, and I don't need to see the legend because again, the stresses don't mean anything. Turn off the coordinate system and close. Let me turn off the spin center while I'm at it. And so there it is. I'm getting a good idea of this particular mode and how it is acting. And I can see that it is right around 68 hertz. And so that is how you can perform a modal analysis in Creo Simulate. I hope this overview helped you out.